Hey everyone, came across an interesting quote that I wanted to share. And that quote is, it's a Dalai Lama quote. And the quote goes, one positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. One positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. Now that's interesting to me. And I can already imagine somebody saying, we're tired of hearing all this positive speaking and positive thinking. This stuff doesn't work. And as a matter of fact, I had a coaching client say to me recently that they had tried all of the positive thinking and the positive speaking, and that it doesn't work for them. It didn't work for them. And it's funny because it's similar to when we've all been in a room at home relaxing, whether it's your living room, bedroom, wherever, home relaxing, and then all of a sudden we get a chill, and we're like, man, it's a little chilly in here. And then just as quickly as you're thinking it, you're up and you're on your way to the thermostat. And you see what the thermostat says. It says, oh, 68 degrees in here. We want it 75. So immediately we start punching in the digits, or if you're old school, you turn the dial and get it up to 75 where you want it. And what that thermostat does is you set the dial to where you want it, or you punch in the code to where you want it, and it immediately sends a signal down to the heating and cooling unit. And that heating and cooling unit is just sitting there waiting to be told what to do. Sitting there waiting for a command. And it gets that signal. Hey, Mr. HVAC unit, we need 75. HVAC unit looks up, got it. And immediately it starts working to give you what you commanded of it. Well, that's really how our subconscious mind works. That heating and that HVAC unit, that heating and cooling unit, doesn't care what temperature you want it. Doesn't care what temperature you want. It's just going to do what you tell it to do. Your subconscious mind has no preference. It cannot tell the difference between the truth and the lie. And so whatever it is that you're telling it, it's going to believe whatever it is that you told it to do. And that's why there's a saying that says, the person that says they can and the person that says they can't are usually both correct. And that's exactly why, because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between the lie and the truth. Here's how you know that that's accurate. We've all gone to a movie theater, and we sit down. We know that it's pure entertainment. Whether it's a comedy or a drama or whatever it is, and we sit down knowing that we're going to be entertained, knowing that it's all acting, and within moments of the movie beginning, we find ourselves laughing or crying or angry, running the whole gamut of emotions, even though we know that it's not real. And this is because when we get pulled into a thing, emotionally drawn in, our subconscious mind does not differentiate between what's real and what's not. And so the reason that the small positive thought in the morning works is because your subconscious mind is sitting there waiting on you to give it a command. And when it gets the command, it immediately begins working in the direction of the command. There was again, my coaching client, she said to me, yep, I tried that and it didn't work. And as she was saying that, it reminded me of when I was in high school, and I had this girlfriend, prettiest girl in the whole high school. And we were getting to know each other. We had been spending time together. I would see her every day at school, and we would pass notes back and forth while we were at school, and then I would see her after school, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted more. And so I came to her one day. I had this plan. I said, hey, listen, I think that tomorrow we should stay home from school. And she was like, how are we going to do that without getting in trouble? I said, listen, I'm going to call in and pretend to be your father. And then I'm going to wait a few minutes, and I'm going to call the school again and pretend to be my father. And I'll get us both excused for the day, Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. She said, you think that'll work? I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll work. And so the next day came, and I get up in the morning, and I'm preparing to do this. I call the school, and I get her excused. No problem. Then I call the school, and I get me excused. No problem. But there was one problem. I had to convince my mother to let me stay home from school. Now, this is a little more complicated than it sounds because my mother's an educator. My mother's a teacher. And you don't just stay home for no arbitrary reasons when you have Cheryl as your mother. And so I knew I had to do some serious acting. I had to convince her that I needed to stay home from school. You ain't coming to her with no headache, she'll give you Tylenol. You ain't coming to her with no stomach ache, she'll give you Pepto-Bismol and send you on to the bus stop. Not today. Today was important. I needed to stay home. So I got dressed and I immediately went to rehearsing my lines. I got in front of the mirror and I said, okay, we got to convince Mama that we got to stay home from school. So I got in front of the mirror. Ma, I don't feel so good. Nah, that ain't gonna do it. Ma, I'm really not feeling good. I need to stay home. No, that's still not quite enough. You got to put your back into it. You got to get your shoulders into it. You got to walk different. You got to mean it. And so I began practicing around my room, walking and in the spirit of this sickness and embodying the entire experience. And by the time I went and knocked on her bedroom door, Ma, I'm not feeling good. She said, well, baby, you don't look good. Come here. And I walked over to her and she put her hand on my head and she said, baby, you got a fever. And I said, word? She said, I think you need to stay home. I said, I think maybe you're right, Ma. She said, yeah, go on and get back into bed. And she said, I got some Tylenol for you. You can take those and sleep it off. And there's some soup in there. You can make yourself something to eat when you get hungry. And if you need anything, you call me. I'll call you in a couple hours to check on you and make sure everything's all right. But I got to go. So she gets up, gets ready, and within a few minutes, she's out the door. And I'm in the bed waiting on her to leave. When she finally leaves, I look out the window and make sure she's gone. And I give her a few minutes to make sure she's not coming back for anything. And then I call my girlfriend, who is now my wife. As a matter of fact, we celebrate 28 years being married on December 1st. So I call my girlfriend and tell her, hey, everything's good. Come on over. But as she was on her way over and as I was preparing for her to come over, I noticed that my throat was a little scratchy. And I noticed that I also had a slight headache. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I worked myself into being sick for real. Like, man, hold on, we're not supposed to be sick. This day is too important. I get to spend some time with the prettiest girl in the school. We can't be sick today. No, not today. And so I got up and I kind of shook that thing off me. And she came over and she said, you don't look so good. Yeah, I'm trying to shake this thing off me. I went on ahead and took those Tylenol and started drinking water and trying to get this thing off me, man. And it took me a while before I understood what happened. See, several years later, as I began understanding and learning how the subconscious mind works, what I was doing as I was preparing to convince my mother that I was sick and I was embodying all these ideas and these principles and mimicking sickness and speaking and pretending to be sick, I'm setting the thermostat for my subconscious mind. I'm dialing up sickness. Yep, we're sick. The same way we would dial up 75 on that thermostat, I'm dialing up sickness. And I convinced my subconscious mind that I was sick. And my subconscious mind, it was as if it was sitting there waiting on a command. And as I dialed up sickness, my subconscious mind said, your wish is my command. And I literally talked myself into being sick. Now, I didn't get a full-blown sickness like the flu, but I'm telling you, when I got up that morning, I was feeling perfect. I mean, this was one of the best days of my life. And all of a sudden, I have a fever, my throat is scratchy, and my head is hurting because what I was thinking I made manifest. I spoke those things that be not as though they were. They say the power of life and death lies in the tongue. I spoke it into existence. And so just like you can speak negativity and illness and bad things into existence, you can also speak positive or positivity into existence. What's the difference? Why did it work for me and not for my coaching client? I'll tell you why. The difference is I spoke it with conviction. I meant it. And I mean, I didn't really want to be sick, but I was embodying it so good. Have you ever heard, check this out. Have you ever told a lie so good that you almost convinced yourself of the lie? I've done that. And I've had people do that to me. There are people who will lie to you and literally get mad at you for not believing the lie, and they know they're lying. That's how committed they are to the lie. And so when you give yourself this one small positive thought in the morning, you have to not only think it, but speak it. And when you speak it, your tongue is the thermostat. Your subconscious mind is the unit. When you send this command to your subconscious mind with conviction, like you mean it, your subconscious mind has no choice but to respond and give you the desired outcome. Do you sit there and wait for the desired outcome? No. No more than you sit there and wait for that thermostat to go from 68 to 75. No, you set it and you forget it. You set it and you forget it. You turn around and you walk away with the utmost confidence, knowing that you're going to get the result that you commanded. It's the same principle. Hey, just wanted to share this one thought with you, and hopefully this touches someone in a way that impacts their life and impacts their day in a way that yields a very constructive and positive result. Hey, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all you can do is all you can do, and that's enough. Just make sure you do all you can do. Enjoy.